So I'm trying to think of a way where I can show this. Okay. Right. It's hard because he's going to do it, okay? It might give him 1 or 2 seconds, but he'll still do it. So we're going to add a term called paddling in. Okay, so paddling is, whether I've mentioned it before or not, is where basically to save the softness for my hands, because what people tend to do, so say if I was asking for his face, yeah? So look, he's already doing it now. Okay, so he's leaning now. Ooh, yeah, there we go. So there he came. So yeah, there we go. But if he wasn't, and say if I was still holding him, I wouldn't get harder on my hand. Okay, I'd start bumping with my legs like that. Okay, we call it bumping. The new word is paddling, because bumping is probably too much pressure word. I don't know, but everything changes. But basically, that's what peddling is. So I'm going to ask him, say if he wasn't coming, and then I start bumping him, peddling him, so he'd come. Because what I don't want to do is get heavy on my hand, because I always want that nice soft cue. So let's just pretend he's going to go wrong. So we're going to go, he will go a little bit, because I haven't warmed him up. And we've been standing around talking, so he's gone to sleep. So we're going to go around to the circle. So I'm going to do an inside one. So say he's going to fall in, he's falling into this tire, which he is, so I'm going to pick that inside hand. If he didn't come off that, which most horses won't, so they don't know what they're doing, I'm going to use that inside leg, like that, and bring that rib cage over, because I want them always to be light to my cue. So there's my cue. I'm pushing, I'm pushing, I'm pushing, so that's good. But if he didn't, I would paddle to get him off there, because I want them coming off my slightest cue, which could be just the lift. I took a breath there and put my weight into my outside seat bone. He didn't curb, so then that's it. So I only then had to lay my heel on him, just because I already bumped him, to keep that lightness. Because if you just keep your heel in, okay, again, you're doing the same thing with your hand, which you don't want to do, because I want to be able to lay my heel on and think over there and for him to do that. But if you're jamming your heel in, you're dulling all your cue there. So what you want to do is, if he's not coming off your leg, or we'll put this in, the shoulder in a minute, and so we'll travel around and pretend it's a baby. But basically, you want to create energy with that leg. Sorry, it's like, do you want my head? So to basically not pull harder. The more you pull harder, then the duller your cue is going. You're just ruining this light cue you've got if you have to end up pulling always to a 10. So I want to be able to do that. Good, okay? But already, just because I just flapped a little bit for 30 seconds, he's already like, oh God, what do you want? So let's put him in. So say for the baby horse, so this is the question I was asked, and he's not listening to these signals. First of all, it's all about being in connection with your horse. So I'm thinking back to the camera now, so I did use my weight in the seat. So I want him connected and listening to me all the time. And this is why it's hard to do mistakes on Money Pit, because he's already connected to me. It might take 1, 2, 3 seconds delay for him to be like, oh, I've just woken up. But, he's not like looking over there, is he? He's with me. He's not looking over there. He's either asleep or asleep. So, or with me, should I say. So here we go. So if I was on a baby, say, unfortunately baby Tanya is gone, so I can't do a video like this with her. So if I'm coming off these nice light cues, okay, I hope you can see that. So he's in between my rein, he's in between my seat, he's part of my body. So when I think something and I twist from my belly button, keep my shoulders up, and I'm sort of doing this sort of motion, okay? So you could do it with your hands out, I might do it. So here we go. So I'm using my weight. So let's get up a little bit. So I'm thinking straight to that bush, actually. He's going. So I'm using my weight to bring him back. There you go. So I'm going to go around there now. Where's he going? So here we go. Perfect opportunity. I'm going to pick him up. I say I want to go over there. So this is probably the best way I could do it, because he obviously needs tuning up. So I'm thinking straight. He's going straight. Okay, so I'm going to think over there now. There we go. Okay. Now I'm thinking straight again. Now I'm going over there. He's drifting. Where's he going? I've got to lift him up. I say, we're going over here. Drop him back down, no pressure there, yeah? So that's how he's working, because he's got no pressure there. Okay? So again, he's drifting over here. I want to go over there. Pick him up. Let me just look a bit more professional there. So I'm going to pick him up and get him in between those reins. And drop him off. Let's make this mistake. So I'm thinking over there. That's better. Now I'm thinking over there. So that was a massive delay. I'm thinking to those chairs. There we go. So that was like a 5-second delay. Okay, someone just walked past the gate. But, so this is actually a good example. So I'm thinking over there. He's thinking, dribbling, not connected. So I'm going to lift. Hello. A little bit of bump in there. So if I say, we're going over here. There we go. So anytime he's in between my reins, he gets no pressure. He's left alone to do his job, okay? He's left alone to do his job. So I'm thinking straight now. He's thinking corner. There we go. Just corrected him with the outside rein. So that's better. That's what I want. As soon as I turn up my core and my weight goes into the seat bone a little bit like that, that's exactly the reaction I want from him. Okay, so we're keeping him nice and reliant. But if you was on your baby horse, you'd be, collect the reins up a little bit more, and then you've got to lift, paddle. There we go. Sorry, Mums. So if I wanted, say if he was going over there, I wanted to go over there, and I'd already given him my seat cue, he's not listening, I'd go, we're going over here, and I'd point with my arms. Okay? So I'm going to go, I'm going over here, point with my arms. Okay? And if he didn't come, so I'm going to do it, say if he's wandering, I'm going to let him wander over there, I'm going to say, we're going over here, and I'd get that outside leg and paddle with it. Okay, then as soon as he's gone back to the track that I want and he's connected with me, I leave him alone, back to do his job. So if we're going over here, so as soon as I'm lifting the rein, he's like, oh, what do you want? Okay, so it's a bit too much pressure for him at the moment. So I'm going to go back to the camera. Okay, so he's safe. I want to go this way, he's wandering off over here. So again, I'm picking him up, I'm exaggerating. This door is open. The inside leg is open. Oh, that's a bit of win for him. So basically, it's just, are you with me? Are you with me? You're coming. If you're not, you're going to get flat. Are you going this way? Look at my hands. I want him inside. You better be quick and keep him between those hands. I want him in between here all the time. So that's it. I only have to lift my body then, and he came. There we go. And then it just can get faster and quicker as you want. But we'll just do it slow for now. Okay. Good. But this is how you keep them thinking all the time and with you, where, if they're, he's good because he's connected pretty much. You've got to tell your connection with the ears, okay? So if the ears are with you, like he's looking at the pony now, so I can redirect his attention. I touch him, okay, so then his connection's back to me. I mean, because I ride him like this all the time. When I school him, I always work on the shoulders, rib cage, and hind and mess around like this, but then that's it, that's my schooling, because all I want him is to be connected with me all the time. I don't drill him, okay? Drilling will be, I don't even, that was quite good actually to do the exercise, because when I threw the reins away, then he was just dribbling out a little bit, so that was good to show. But yeah, so that's how much I want to be able to have that connection, him staying in between my reins when I'm riding like this. So if I'm coming over here, you better come as well, stay in between those legs and reins. Okay, and then if he doesn't, then I'm showing you how to do it. But this is why we've got to be like this. You've got to almost lift them up and make them come with you. No good down here. Shoulders drop in, head, shoulders drop in, it goes all wrong. Carriages flopping around everywhere. You've jackknifed your train everywhere. It's all leaking out awful. But, it's easier said than done. But it is so simple, really, because that's all you stand in your normal position. You're keeping them in line with you, and the babies or the horses that haven't got this sort of training on will leak everywhere. They're going to be like, neck out there, shoulder out there, butt out there, rib cage leaking over there. But that's one, you've got to be good with your positions and your cues, and that's how clear you've got to be. And if something's leaking out there, you need to catch it. If something's leaking out there, you've got to catch it, okay? So it's all about, catching, putting your train back in position and following you, the driver, And if it leaks out, then you've got to be good enough rider to be able to put it back into position with whatever you need to use in your body. And your weight, again, is a big one. See, when he just flopped over there, even when I had no reins, I was like, this is a big thing in the Western, where we're able to do it a lot better than the English because of the saddle. But, you know, if he's not following me, then I'm going to make it uncomfortable for him, okay? And I'm going to sort of can hang out the saddle a little bit. Sorry, yeah, you just stand there for a minute and let me talk. But, yeah, because like going back to that kid on your shoulders thing, when you do that to them, it's like, ooh, okay? It's not comfortable and they've got to come with you to balance themselves because you're off-balancing them. And it might not look pretty, but trust me, it works. And it gets them activated to your seat. And all I'm saying is, say if you were hanger, let's just get into a position here. So if he was, so say if he was carried on walking there, okay, and I wanted to go over here, and I'd already done my reins, okay, and he didn't come, then I would I put all my weight in that stirrup, I'm hanging off this seat though, look, he's already coming off my seat, but then I would be flapping there, paddling with that foot. But you see how he's already, because he's already trained, he knows to try and stay away from that pressure. Okay, so when the pressure comes on, to move away from it. But he's got to have an open door to move through. And that's why it's so important not to block them. So when I'm coming through and bringing this part of my carriage with me, okay, and that didn't get, so the rib cage got left behind and this got all locked up, then I can use my position 2 with my left leg, outside leg, to bump, pedal, 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 get that rib cage moving with the rest of the front carriage, okay? But this leg has to be open, okay, for him to know that that is the correct way to go. Otherwise, if this leg is still on, and this is the problem where people aren't aware of what their body's doing, and they're blocking the horse without even realising it, it might look really easy because I know exactly what I'm doing, and he's got the cues already on them, but the babies, excuse me, snack attack, the babies, they don't know. So you've got to help them with your weight, and it might not, especially in English, it might not be very, you know, the proper way to do it. But if you want to train your horse, it's the best way to do it, because then he'll get all light. So then I only got to do a little bit of, you know, a little bit of a hip, 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 and then he's going to come with me. But that's how you keep them to be so sharp, where I'm going to throw the rein away, so I know I'm not being dependent on that rein, okay, and that's a lot of the English riders' problem. That's why us Western riders got much better seat, because we're not always on the rein, okay, I don't have to ride with that at all. I'm here all the time, I need him working here, and the main reason we do this is because, thank you, I didn't like hit the grass. The main reason we do this is because we're going to go one-handed. So when you go one-handed, unless you want to drag them around, I need him to be mobile mobile and working off my body for him to be able to understand the neck rein. But also, I just got that little bit of contact on him. Oops, I'm not straight my rein there, but then I'm able to manipulate it with my body, and that's why it's so important to sort of highlight those cues. With the leg, with the shoulder, rib cage, hind stuff. But this is how easy it should be when your horse is connected to you, and you have got the right training on you, and you're then relating it to the horse. But if you're not right, and this is the problem, if you're sorry, Monifit, good boy, I'm sorry, yeah. Most of the time it's people, okay, and they're all like, oh, he won't. And it's not that he won't, he just can't, because you're in his bloody way. And that's, you know, most of the stuff. Actually, this is what we're going to get on my next clinic next week. Because, I just, you know, there's only so much I can teach in an hour with a group of people, but every clinic I do something different, and most people come, the same people come, some new people come, so they get caught up, but, you know, that's why I like to do the clinics at Lincoln, because even Becky, she gets schooled every month on something different, and she gets to practice it through the month, and that's how I like it. But I hope that was helpful. to some people, a bit different to see, but, you know, a lot of people don't want it to see it, because people are like, oh, you shouldn't sit like that, but, you know, no one's going to learn anything if everyone does perfect videos, okay? So next week I might get her out. It's a bit late today, my camera's probably going to, my microphone, excuse me, I know I've been talking a lot, but how rude. My microphone's going to cut off. So next week I'll do a video with her, and she will have lots of mistakes, because she probably never worked on anything like this before. But she will recover fast, because she's a quick learner and she's sensitive, a bit like him. Okay, she doesn't like pressure. So as soon as I give her a bit of pressure, she learns quickly off it, then she will try and stay away from the pressure as much as possible. Whereas some of these lazy, dull horses, I mean, some people will call him lazy, but he ain't that lazy. He's slow. But his legs are bad at the moment, so I'm not going to push him too much. But the lazy, dull horses are the ones that are the most difficult, okay? The ones that really want to lean on your hand, lean on your leg, and that's when you've got to do real good flapping, or possibly put some spurs on, or use a flag, anything to not dull your own cues out. That's just what this whole video is about, really. Okay, so I hope that's helpful, and I'll see you next time.